Billionaire saw Waitress worked double shifts for her sick mom. What he did next shocked everyone. The whole diner suddenly fell silent. Every customer had already gone home. Chairs were flipped onto tables, lights half dimmed, and the clock on the wall quietly hit 2:17 a.m. Only one girl was still moving. Her name was Megan Carter, a 23-year-old waitress with tired eyes, a crooked ponytail, and hands that wouldn't stop shaking. She had been working since 6 in the morning, 18 hours. Her fingers were red from grabbing hot plates. Her feet were nearly numb. And yet she forced a smile as she wiped another table. She thought she was alone, but she didn't know someone was watching her. A man sat quietly in the corner booth. Expensive coat, expensive watch, untouched plate of food. No one noticed him come in. He stared at Megan like he was studying a secret. This man was Billionaire, Gregory Hale, and Megan had no idea that everything in her life was about to change. What he did next shocked everyone. But before we get there, we need to go back 7 hours earlier. The diner was packed, the kind of busy where plates clattered nonstop and orders overlapped like chaos. Megan rushed from table to table, but she never looked annoyed. She always said, "People may forget the food, but they never forget kindness." Even when someone yelled, she smiled. Even when a kid spilled soda on her shoes, she laughed. But the truth? She was fighting tears every few minutes. Because earlier that morning, the hospital called, "Your mother's condition is getting worse. We will need another payment by tomorrow." Another payment, another shift, another night pretending everything was okay. Megan couldn't afford to stop. She worked double shifts every day just to keep her mom alive. At 8:34 p.m., while carrying 3 plates at once, Megan's phone buzzed in her apron. She glanced at the screen. Hospital calling. Her face drained. She whispered to the cook, "Please cover my tables for 2 minutes." She ran to the back hallway and answered. A doctor spoke softly. "Megan, your mother's oxygen levels dropped again. We may need to move her into intensive care." Megan pressed her back to the wall, breathing hard. "How much will it cost?" she whispered. Another pause. "A little over $8,000. She closed her eyes so tight her head hurt. Her entire yearly savings was $611. She went back to work. Didn't cry, didn't complain. She just worked harder. Every customer, every plate, every tip. She clung to it like air. Most people didn't see it, but one man did. Around 9:15 p.m., a black SUV stopped outside the diner. Someone stepped out quietly. No cameras, no bodyguards, no loud entrance. He sat in the far corner, ordered a simple black coffee, and watched. He never took his eyes off the waitress. Not in a creepy way, but in a way that said, "Something about her matters." This was Gregory Hale, a billionaire known for never smiling. CEO of Hale Tech Robotics, owner of 4 skyscrapers. A man who fired people for being 3 minutes late. Everyone feared him. Tonight, he looked almost frozen, like he was watching a movie no one else could see. At 11:52 p.m., Megan should have clocked out. Another waitress said, "Megan, go home. You've already done 2 shifts." Megan forced a smile. "I'm fine, I just need a little more money." She didn't tell them why. She didn't want pity. She tied her apron tighter, grabbed another tray, and kept going. Her knees almost buckled once. She caught herself, pretending nothing happened. Gregory noticed. His fist slowly tightened under the table. Around 1:30 a.m., the other staff left. Lights went off. Only Megan remained, cleaning the tables alone. She thought no one was there to see what happened next. She pulled out a small photo from her apron, a picture of her and her mom laughing at a fair, taken years ago. She touched the picture to her forehead and whispered, "Please stay alive, Mom. I'm trying." That was the first moment the billionaire's eyes softened, the first time in years. 2:17 a.m. She dropped into a chair, exhausted. Suddenly, a voice echoed through the empty diner. "Why are you still working?" Megan jumped, startled. She turned and saw him, standing, tall, expensive coat, cold eyes. She tried to smile. "Oh, sorry, sir. I didn't see you. We're closed now, but I can still—" He walked closer. "No, I've been here for hours." His tone was sharp, almost angry. "I watched you work 2 full shifts. You can barely stand." Megan swallowed I need the money." "For what?" he demanded. She hesitated. "My mother, she's sick. I just need enough to—" Gregory slammed something on the table, a checkbook. Then he said the words that changed everything. "How much do you need?" Megan froze. Her voice shook. Eight, 8,000. He didn't blink. He wrote a number, then tore the check and placed it in front of her. She looked down. $50,000. Her breath caught. I can't take this," she stuttered. Gregory leaned in, eyes locked to hers. "You don't understand. I'm not giving you money." He paused. His next words, "Unbelievable. Impossible." And what he said next shocked everyone who heard the story later. Before Megan could speak, the diner phone rang. She turned slowly. It was the hospital. Her face went pale. She was too afraid to answer, and Gregory was still standing there, waiting, staring, holding a pen like he wasn't finished writing. The phone kept ringing. Megan stared at it, frozen. The hospital number flashed again and again. Her hands shook so badly she couldn't pick it up, because if she answered, she might hear, "Your mother didn't make it." Gregory Hale watched her silently. Finally, he spoke. "Answer it." His voice was low, firm, not unkind. Megan swallowed and pressed the green button. "Hello," a nurse answered. "Megan, your mother is stable for now, but we need the payment today or she'll be moved out of private care." Megan shut her eyes in relief. She was alive, but panic followed instantly today. They would remove her if she didn't pay by morning. She whispered, voice cracking, "I'm coming, please. Just hold her a little longer." She hung up. The diner was silent. Gregory stood there, holding the $50,000 check. Megan looked up slowly. "Why are you doing this?" she whispered. Gregory didn't answer at first. He sat down across from her, and for the first time, his cold business voice broke. "My mother died," he said quietly. Megan blinked. He continued, "She worked double shifts, night after night, just like you." His eyes dropped to the table. "She used to say she wasn't tired, that everything was fine. She lied." Megan covered her mouth. "My father never helped. I didn't help either. I was always too busy building a company." His jaw clenched. "She collapsed one night. Heart failure. I was halfway across the world, at a business dinner." Megan's eyes filled with tears. Gregory looked at her with something almost painful in his expression. "When I watched you work tonight, I saw my mother." Silence. Then, "I will not let another mother die because no one helped." He pushed the check toward her again. This time, his voice held no question. "Take it." Megan stared at the shock. $50,000. That was more than 6 times what she needed. She whispered, "I don't deserve this." Gregory leaned forward. "You deserve more than I ever gave my mother." Then he did something even stranger. He pulled out a business card. "You start at my headquarters Monday," he said. Megan blinked. "What?" "I need someone on my staff who understands real people. Not spreadsheets, not robots." He slid the card across the table. "You'll work directly under me. Full benefits. Salary starting at—" He wrote another number. Megan gasped out loud. $120,000 a year. She grabbed her mouth with both hands. "But I'm just a waitress." Gregory shook his head. "No, you're someone who works 18 hours for love. That's someone worth hiring." Megan broke. She covered her face and cried harder than she had in years. Not polite tears, sobbing, all the fear, all the pressure, all the nights she pretended she was fine, came pouring out at once. Gregory didn't speak. He just sat quietly, not judging, not rushing, like he knew those tears were years overdue. Finally, Megan whispered, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." He nodded once as not a smile. but something softer than anything anyone at his company had ever seen. Just when it felt safe, Gregory stood up and said, "Take the money, save your mother." Megan clutched the check. He turned to leave, but stopped at the door. "Megan," she looked up. "You have 1 week." She froze. 1 week? For what? He stared at her. "To prove you're worth the job." Her heart jumped. "If you don't show up Monday, I take everything back, the salary, the job offer." Megan nodded quickly. "Yes, yes, I'll be there, I promise." He walked toward the exit, but paused again. This time he said something no one expected. "Don't prove it to me, prove it to your mom." Then he left. No cameras, no press, no announcement. Just a billionaire disappearing into the night. Next day, Megan ran to the hospital before the sun rose. She handed in the check. The nurse's eyes went wide. Her mother stayed in private care. Doctors increased her treatment for the first time in months. Megan sat beside her mother with no fear. She held her hand and whispered, "Mom, you're safe now. Someone helped us." Her mother opened her eyes weakly. "Who?" Megan smiled through her tears. "A stranger who didn't stay a stranger." That afternoon, someone leaked the story online. Billionaire secretly donates $50,000 to Waitress working double shifts for sick mother. People went crazy. It hit every news station. Employees at Hailtech were stunned. Some said, "He's never done anything like that." Others whispered, "Maybe he finally grew a heart." One reporter later asked Gregory, "Why her?" He answered, "Because when someone works that hard for love, the world should work just as hard to protect them." Moral of this story: kindness doesn't need cameras, and sometimes the people who seem invisible are the ones who deserve the spotlight most.